Jeff Garcia, who voiced the character of Sheen on the hit cartoon Jimmy Neutron, unfortunately passed away at the age of 50. Okay, so multiple family members tell TMZ the comedian and actor was pronounced dead early Wednesday morning after he was taken off life support Tuesday night at a Southern California hospital while surrounded by family and friends. So, we're told Jeff was dealing with multiple medical complications in the months before his death, suffering brain aneurysm back in the spring, during which he fell and hit his head. He recovered from the aneurysm, but our sources say he suffered a stroke several weeks ago. So our sources say Jeff canceled multiple shows recently because he wasn't feeling well, which wasn't like him at all, but he didn't go to the hospital believing he'd be fine without treatment. Okay, so TMZ broke the story. Sources told us Jeff had previously been hospitalized around November 20 with pneumonia. He recovered enough to be discharged, but his health took another turn in recent weeks. On Monday, he went to the hospital with difficulty breathing, and on Tuesday, his lung collapsed. Wow. Okay, so Jeff might not be a household name, but his voice will certainly be familiar to many, with the actor first grabbing notice with his iconic voiceover work in the Jimmy Neutron franchise. So this is really sad, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, and he was only 50 years old to begin with. Man, he was one of the actors that got to mark my childhood, because I remember when I was a little kid, way back in the 2000s, I would watch Jimmy Neutron so much on Nickelodeon. And I would watch Sheen a lot, get goofy and get weird on Jimmy Neutron. And he was kind of like the dumb one at the same time, but he was at the same time that goofy one that we all loved and enjoyed to watch yet again. And he was like Jimmy Neutron's sidekick, basically. He was like the one that got to lead into what Jimmy Neutron got to do. He was the one that got to basically follow Jimmy Neutron on what he got to do, and he was the one that was, goofing around Carl as well, because Carl was another friend of his in the show Jimmy Neutron, I remember. And there was just this vibe where, basically Sheen was one of the main highlights of the cartoon Jimmy Neutron, I remember, because of how amazing he was. And let's also remember that he was like, that little kid kind of in the show, where he was also very immature. Like, he was like the kind of guy that didn't want to behave